this is not just a touch game. This isn't synchronized swimming or ballet. This is physical. This is mano on mano right here, and we're not fooling anybody. Straight ahead. You see Rasevich down there, but not before he picks the first down up. And I tell you what, there's nothing more devastating to a defensive line or linebacker to have these big 300-pound hoggies coming at you play after play after play.
That's the first down of the second half for the Eskimos. 3:24 to go in the third quarter. Something's got to give today. The Eskimos trying to snap a 6-game home losing streak. Saskatchewan's lost 7 straight overall. They fake to Millington. Mason on the bootleg. It's across the 50 and has 3 plus Rasevich combining on the tackle. The great Willie Pless came into the game with 1,228 tackles in his illustrious career.
Just a naked bootleg, and as he gets outside, who's the guy with the big block at the point of attack? Right there. Back it up just a little bit. Number 89, Leroy Blue. We talked about him maybe being an offensive lineman. Right here, does a great job. You can see him on the ground right here. I mean, that is fantastic, getting downfield, getting on a defensive line. And I tell you what, they're going to start saying, hey, Leroy, quit holding me. That's a great job, big man.
And Kevin Mason just went down. Not sure if he's hurt the leg, got up, was headed towards the huddle, and then just kind of went down. And he'll have to come out of the game. And now, the mystery was who would be the starter, who comes in to replace Mason. It's Crandall taking some snaps. He's trying to check to see if Dan Crowley's loosening up too.
Oh, you think it's going to be Crandall? He'll be in the game for sure. It'll probably just be a 3-play thing as long as it's not a serious injury to Kevin Mason. As you say, he got up, walked, and went back down, so might have just got the wind knocked out of him. You just see he's going to turn around, just tuck the ball away, kind of gets rolled rough into the ground right there.
They got the knee twisted as Rasevich is holding on, and plus made sure he wasn't going anywhere. And so Kevin Mason, who...
And you're right, Chris, because they're working. You can see right now they're working right there. They're working on that knee. They're checking for stability, lifting it up, moving it side to side to check to see if there's any movement.
And if you're wondering about Nealon Green, they tell us, is about 75–80% of the hip flexor injury. He could be back next week.
But again, we saw Terry Vaughn in the first half. He's out. Suspected slight shoulder separation. Now Kevin Mason checking, working on his knee. They're going to see if he can walk off on his own steam, put weight on it. That's the first thing they're going to check with him. Unbelievable injury situation.
Let's check in with Mark.
Chris, here's the lineup tonight for Hockey Night in Canada. Our doubleheader begins with Calgary at the Air Canada Centre to play the Maple Leafs, and the nightcap of our twin bill coming west, where the Nashville Predators will play the Canucks in Vancouver. It all begins at 6:30 Eastern with Labatt Saturday night. And Ron McLean. Chris?
Thank you, Mark. Marcus Crandall be into the game. He was the starting quarterback last week against Montreal, and Don Matthews unhappy with his inability to run the football. Crandall is passing here, and it's Millington turning it upfield and gets a first down, and this offense has been Sean Millington this afternoon.
Well, you couldn't have put it any better, Chris. I mean, if they're not handing the football off to him, they're using him as a release valve, just dumping the ball over the middle, just gets the thing, catches the football, and then does what he's doing well this afternoon. Turn his shoulders north and south and running over anybody. He's not going to try and shake and bake you and make you miss. He's going to punish you. That's what you got to love about a fullback. Turned running back today, Sean Millington.
9 yards that time. Mason getting attention, the right knee. Final 2 minutes, third quarter. First down, Edmonton moving it into Saskatchewan territory. Millington right side, big hole. Sean Millington, another first down And they're back to what was working in the first half.
Well, you wondered why they went away from it. They didn't have any first downs. All of a sudden, they started handing the ball to Millington, getting him involved again, and getting the offensive line involved again. Again, nothing fancy. Give him the football, but nice move. Does a job of avoiding a tackle, and then again does what he's doing best all afternoon, and that's just running over people and picking up big yardage.
Millington, 6'2", 222. $88 yards today. He had 98 in the game against the Bombers earlier this season. Give him the ball again, and he crashes down to the 30.
And what people don't understand, these are defensive backs and linebackers making the tackles. And you know what? When you got a guy that's 230 pounds coming at you time and time again, and you got to wrap him up, then they pull it and they do a bootleg, play action pass, fake it. Everybody freezes for that split second, and you got a receiver wide open.
Once again, Willie Pless is at the other end of the tackle. Well, I remember that Grey Cup game in '94 when he was a BC Lion, and probably in his prime. Sean Millington was such a horse for the Lions at the time in their Grey Cup winning performance. Back to the double tight end set as they reestablish the ground game and go back to Millington again.
Oh my gosh, man!
And this time it's clogged up and he's pushed back. See where they spot it. We got some tempers flaring. Leroy Blue is in the middle of it.
Well, the defensive linemen are accusing Leroy Blue of holding him right now, something that Leroy over the years has accused other offensive linemen of doing that technique, but it's amazing how fast he picks that technique up.
It is another first down for the Eskimos on the final play of the third quarter here at Commonwealth Stadium. Cal Murphy's team battling back to within 2 points of the Eskimos, and now watching the Eskimos marching downfield. And now they are ruling it is the end of 3 quarters here in Commonwealth Stadium. It's going to be an interesting fourth quarter. A 2-point Edmonton lead. Sean Millington, 113 all-purpose yards today as we join Mark Lee.
Chris, Kevin Mason has a twisted right knee, and at this point he's up and moving around on the sideline. The training staff here in Edmonton is going to wait and see if it'll settle down before deciding whether he'll return to the field.
So both starters, there's Terry Vaughn alongside. Both starters have been knocked out today. There's the twisted knee of Mason.
And as you said, Eagle Eye, Dan Rasevich with the grab on the ankle and hanging on for dear life. And as Mason's forward momentum carried him, his knee buckled and twisted, and he had to leave the football game.
Eskimos driving now with Marcus Crandall at the handle. Crandall delivers, and it's a completion. Rick Walters, the former Saskatchewan Roughrider, with a key catch near another first down.
Well, I like this catch. This is leaving your feet over the other's shoulder and catching the football. Nice job. Marcus Crandall throws the football. Look at that, over the back shoulder. Nice job of concentration of catching that football. Hands exactly where you want to do. Let the ball hit you right in the palms. Nice job of catching by Rick Walters.
They've got it down to the 11-yard line now. Check that, the 16. So it's 1st and 10. The drive started on the Edmonton 25. Back to Millington, right side. Sean Millington inside the 5. And they haven't solved Millington yet.
No, they haven't, and he is having a field day running the ball against this front line and linebacking crew of the Roughriders right now. The offensive lineman and lead block, they're just doing a great job of finding somebody right there. He just finds an opening, and he will not be denied. Dan Rasevich finally coming over with Garrett to tackle him, but not before he picks up another first down. Just great movement. Look at this. That is 50. I mean, we're talking guys getting buried on the ground.
12 there. He's over 100 yards for the first time this season. And now 1st and goal. Millington down to the 2, and a flag is down, actually in the end zone, on on the track outside the end zone. And I believe from the Eskimo reaction, well, who is it going against?
Well, I believe you're right, Chris. I think they're going to call it against Saskatchewan.
Too many players. Saskatchewan. First down in the field.
Well, the old 13-man defense.
Well, they couldn't stop Millington with 12, so I figured they'd sneak an extra guy out there and see if that would help. They did come up and hold him short in that play, but unfortunately, 13 men will get you another first down and 3 more cracks from the 1-yard line.
It's like Curtis Gallick didn't get out in time. And it's a fresh set of downs. First and goal. Millington again. You bet. His second of the day. And what a day for Sean Millington.
Well, he's basically been unstoppable. This line has come off firing on all cylinders today, and Millington is just doing the rest by just finding the hole, and more than that, just not being denied. He's getting the football, and again, it's full flight. By the time they make contact with him, he's already crossed the goal line and put up another 6 points.
So the backup quarterbacks have come in to engineer scoring drives. First and now Marcus Crandall just hand it to Millington. He'll get it done. Jumbo offensive unit of Edmonton, Leroy Blue, tight end, helped push another one across for the Eskimos.
Well, these guys right here on the other side, Elmesh Tube, Leo Groenewegen, just do an excellent job of getting to the opposite side of the defensive lineman, creating that hole. Beautiful scene for Sean Millington to run through and score an easy touchdown.
Obviously not quite like Walby, though. They said, get a shot of the offensive line, and then they all got up and left before we came back on the air. There's a big tackle by Picasso Nelson. That was a work of art as he upended Curtis Mayfield.
Well, we're going to have to see the big question again now. We saw Saskatchewan come up with a great last offensive drive as we see Picasso Nelson grab the ankle, take down the ever-dangerous Curtis Mayfield in the open field.
Come on, man! Line! Nice tackle.
There's Elmesh Tube
Rick!
from cell block 8.
Where's Rick?
Oh, quite a drive. That's the way the Eskimos got this game started. Sarkisian back at the controls, and down he goes. Upended by Leroy Blue, a double threat this afternoon.
Well, you saw Leroy Blue earlier just sitting on the bench. He is playing tight end on the offense, and boy, he can do it on the defense as well. He's just coming off the top up here, working against Ben Fairbrother. Nice swat move. Swat the offensive lineman to the outside, come back to the inside, and wrap up the goodies. This time it's the quarterback.
Loss of 5. Leroy's 5th sack of the year. Second against Saskatchewan. Second and 15. Sarkisian flushed out. Can't find anybody. Now escapes, and Ricky Whittle has a first down. Got a couple of Eskimos down way behind the scenes. But Steve Sarkisian, the elusive one that time, and a big first down when Saskatchewan needed it.
Well, initially good pressure from the top. You're going to see up here, right here, is a twist between Leroy Brown and Robert Brown. Leroy Blue, excuse me. They fall on each other, one of them gets jumbled, but this is all Steve Sarkisian. Fights off the block of Assman, finds a guy, presence of mind to get the ball to Ricky Whittle downfield. That's a nice job.
Well, it was second and 15. They get 17 and a first down, and Robert Brown, who replaced the injured Doug Peterson, is now shaken up as the injury list for the Edmonton Eskimos continues to grow. Hurt. I don't know if they're going to take him straight to the locker room or not, but it's another Eskimo injury.
Well, I think they're just going to do it. What they're going to do is run a twist on me right there. Leroy Blue Blue's going to come inside. Robert Brown's going to come to the outside. You can see Ben Fairbrother, 52, push him down in a pile. And him and Leroy Blue get tangled up. I think he's just going to get his ankle taped up again.
Under 11.5 minutes to go, and here's Whittle. Shook an initial tackle and gets 5 up to the 40. Seems to be gaining confidence as the afternoon wears on.
He seems to be running stronger, much as you say, Chris. And that's a lot of times when a guy's finally getting comfortable with his offensive line. Remember, this is only his 3rd game with this unit. Once he starts getting some rhythm with these guys and some repetitions, he looks like he really can explode out of the backfield.
Sarkisian's thrown for 140 on the day. 2nd and 5, back to Whittle, and he'll be stopped short. Melvin Hunter celebrating a key tackle that will force Saskatchewan into a punting situation.
Well, that's a big play of coming up and stopping them short, forcing the punting situation, because they don't want to give Saskatchewan any opportunity to move the ball, not only into their field, but change field position. Right now, because they stopped it, where Paul McCallum punts the football, the Gizmo will still have good starting field position for the Edmonton offense.
Hunter playing in his 125th game today in the CFL. He's never missed in a 3-time Western All-Star. There's Gizmo. 10.5 minutes to play. Gizmo will get a chance on the line drive punt. Up to the 43-yard line. 37-yard punt, 13-yard return. Here's Mark Lee.
Chris, Robert Brown is getting a lot more tape on that ankle, the right ankle. It is a sprain, but the training staff here, as Todd Richardson works on his ankle, believes he will be able to come back and finish this football game. That is not the case for the starting quarterback, Kevin Mason. At this point, the plan is to keep him on the sidelines and finish the game with Marcus Crandall.
One after another. Terry Vaughn still trying to loosen up the shoulder.
Okay, guys,
And Marcus Crandall, who was criticized after his performance against Montreal, has to relieve a dejected Kevin Mason here this afternoon. John Millington. This time it's stuffed up after a couple of yards. Last week, Chris, they utilized the jumbo offense for a time, and then Montreal just clogged up the box with 9 defenders playing the run, and they had to get away from it.
But what happens here, as you can see, we got double tight ends right there. They've only got 4 guys right here. As a result, what happens is they're still getting movement. What Montreal did last week was they brought an extra guy, so they outnumbered the jumbo. That forced Don Matthews' offense to change its philosophy.
2nd and 8. Crandall from the shotgun. Over the middle, deeper, broke the tackle, first down and a lot more. The native of Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, out of the backfield, and a big catch against the Roughriders.
Well, he says, not so fast, Mr. Millington. I can have some fun with this offense as well. And Deebert gets a nice flat pass right out of the backfield over the middle, finds it, then does a nice job of breaking it, a tackle. Todd McMillan can't bring him down, and there he's off the races. This is another big horse to bring down.
Crandall smiling after a 22-yard gain for the fullback Deebert. Just his 12th catch of the year. Eskimos on the move at the Rough Rider 43. Millington, John Millington, and he will score.
Saskatchewan Roughriders didn't carry the ball a whole lot, but look at this. He finds a hole, a seam in the double tight end offense. Val St. Germain, Bruce Beaton, Elmesh Dube, Groenewegen, Morris, they're doing the job, and boy, he's reaping the benefits. He takes it all the way for a touchdown.
Came into the game with 163 yards rushing. He has 153 today and 3 touchdowns. And the Eskimos now have within their grasp their first home win in their last 7 starts.
Mason said I should be fresh. And if Mr. Mason said it...
33,850, and Sean Millington is giving them plenty to cheer about. The latest, a 43-yard rumble to the end zone.
I'll tell you what, we talked about this guy right here. Leroy Blue is in a double tight end offense. When we run it, he just does a nice job of hand checking the outside guy and coming in and killing the linebacker. Look at Dan Rasevich. Gets knocked inside. That is a great job of opening a hole for your running back, Sean Millington, who takes it all away.
Here's Curtis Mayfield, slowed up by Andre Batson and Terry Ray. And now it's a 16-yard. Here's the celebration when Millington was rumbling to the end zone.
You know what? You can see a lot of happiness. We talked about this yesterday.
Come on,
when we
baby.
watched
What's
them
up, man?
at
We are
practice.
kicking the
This is a team that really believes that when they get in the playoffs, that they are going to be a force to be reckoned with.
But they aren't in the playoffs yet. They win this afternoon. They're 7:59 away from that. They move back into a tie with Winnipeg. They'll come down to the final weekend. Bombers in Montreal. We'll have that for you Sunday. And the Edmonton Eskimos will be playing in Toronto on the final weekend.
Well, isn't it great when it comes down to the one game? Last game of the season. That's what it's all about. All the marbles.
And remember, Edmonton goes ahead to the playoffs if they finish in a tie with Winnipeg. The team that has to cross over has to have a better record than the third-place team in the other division. Steve Sarkisian looking downfield. Reggie Jones, he's got it. And there's plenty of time for Saskatchewan to do some damage yet. They get it into Edmonton territory on a 27-yard pass to Reggie Jones. And now Jones shaken up.
Well, just a nice job. You can see the linebacking crew here. 4 guys rushing. They're trying to just get back in their depth right now. Drop back, get in your zone. 83 Reggie Jones. That's just a nice job of coming right in the middle. You're going to see him go up for the football right there. Catch it. Great concentration in front of Eric Edwards. And then he pays the price when A.J. Gass tries to dislodge his head from his body. But a nice concentration catch right there, right in front of Eric Edwards. At 41, you can see him right now with the shoulder pad right under the chin, trying to dislodge the head from the body. And that's what shook up Reggie Jones.
Jones, a bright spot in a tough season on the prairie. Looks like he's going to be all right. He led NFL Europe in receptions this year. He spent some time in Kansas City the past 2 seasons, but this is one of those guys, it would appear, based on his initial action in the Canadian Football League, you can help build an offense around. Let's check in with Mark Lee.
Well, Reggie Jones looks like he's okay as he's up and off the field under his own steam. Cal Murphy has been steaming mad at points during this second half. This was the scene back in 1984 on this very field when the Blue Bombers defeated the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Cal Murphy, one of 9 Grey Cup rings.